Hello and welcome to episode 13 of How to Contract in Kerbal Space Program version 0.24. My name is Jim and today we are going to Duna. We have our ship, Duna lander with lifter. It will cost us 367,000 of funds to send, but we have 8 million, so we're fine. Alright, let's do one final check. Staging. Okay, brackets 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 engines. The outer layer will let go first, and then we'll asparagus stage the center tanks 1, 2, and 3. We'll fire off the nuclear engines to get us to Duna. Hopefully with enough fuel here. Let's see, we have an antenna. What I want to do is broadcast a crew report from orbit and then one from the surface. Now we'll technically complete our contract after we've landed this. And so that way we don't have to wait to get back with all the science. Just in case I need to send another mission to rendezvous with this or refuel it to get it back to Kerbal or take the science with me. But at least transmitting a crew report will get 100% of that science and fulfill our mission goals of transmit or recover data from space around Duna. We'll plant a flag and also transmit to recover scientific from the surface of Duna. And we got also as part of our explore Duna, recover from space. So that transmission will recover to also help with this contract, which is a separate contract. So we are going to go ahead and launch. Let's get our crew. We got some new guys yesterday, so let's go with Pepe. Pepe. Pepe is going to Duna. Alright, let's do one more save. Let's launch this guy. And fingers crossed that this is actually going to work. Not having an Apollo 13 type situation. Alright, looks like all the struts are holding. All the weights on these clamps holding these tanks, which is holding the whole ship in the middle. Alright, so you ready, Pepe? Alright, throttle. Yeah, have to get going and then we'll adjust to see what we're doing. This has a lot of initial thrust, so it should get off the ground pretty easily. Alright, 3, 2, 1, lift off. Yep, very nice. Let's go ahead and lower that down to a third. We're not lagging the computer too much. It is in the yellow, but it's about a second per second. Something. Seems fishy. Why are these? That's all of them. Why are some of them emptying out faster than others? I think we'll be okay. Let's go ahead and just keep burning until all these are out. Looks like they'll go out in pairs. Yeah, there's something about feeding two different lines in the same fuel tank that confuses everything. So that's out. Let's boost up a little more. And these two are done. Okay, now we can drop the outer layer. Go to full thrust. They got us up to 5,000, so. Go a little fast. Yeah, that's weird. I'll definitely have to redesign that whole thing. Maybe not have them feed into the center. Alright, we can up the thrust a bit. Let's start leaning it over. It's going to be relatively weak, so I want to go a little bit steeper of an angle with this for the most part. Take a look at our orbital situation. 29,000. Nope, something broke. Alright, since this is landable, the pod itself, I am not worried about Pepe dying. You know what, let's use this as a test opportunity. Let's see how the parachutes and all that handle. Let's go ahead and put the gear down. We're going to land in, let's get our engines ready. Let's get over towards the land. Now I want to see how the parachutes work with all the weight on it. How high are we going? Now we're about the top. Alright, I'm going to do a speed up until we're closer to the surface. See you in a moment. Alright, then I'm back and I'm preparing to slow this down a little bit more. It's 7.3, that's not bad with all those parachutes considering how heavy this is. So let's go ahead and see, we want this below as close to 3 as we can. There we go. Just let this settle in and we'll cover this. We'll get some of the costs out of this back from this as well, so that's another bonus. As soon as we touch the water. Alright, the SAS is holding us up for now. Alright, I want... No, not quick save. Nope. I was looking for the kind of... That's what I want. Okay, something... Radial decoupler. So that was our first failure. So somewhere in that center stage it like disconnected and collapsed and everything, so we'll have to see what happened there. Okay, let's recover this, see how much of the funds we get back from this. No science parts. 88 or 93% back. We got 61,000 of it back, so that mistake cost us 300,000. But we have plenty of funds, so that's not a problem. And got our crew back. Alright, now let's fix this. So it looks like it broke. Because it looks like this whole thing just fell right out of the center. Because we got through one of these stages. Yeah, because we got through that stage finally, but when we staged it again, something happened. I don't know if it just one of these tanks tilted and hit it. So that might just be the problem there. One thing I did notice from... No, they're all here. I think one of these broke off during the catastrophe, because I noticed that one of those landing legs was missing. I see them all here, so that's fine. Alright, so what went wrong? What can we do to fix it? I think some more strutting between here and there. Because right now I just have this connection and all these struts. I have struts. I guess I could... No, I have struts from there to the gray. Yeah, I can't think of anything that... But we do need to fix this whole situation with these outside tanks, because that kind of messed us up. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, I think it's this connection here. The fact that there's two of these going into this one kind of messes up the process. Let's try feeding everything into the last of the asparagus stage. So if I do this, and instead of here, and bring this one around and also hook it into this tank. So all three of these outside ones are now feeding into the last, or the first of this stage. So they should be feeding it equally. Oh, I needed symmetry on to do all that. Alright, we'll try that. And let's see, where else can I strut? Let's do one from here to this tank. I really don't know what else could be going wrong with that. Whether it's just an unlucky accident? Because nothing broke on the launch pad, even though it wobbled a lot. I'm going to do... something like this as well. Don't like getting too ridiculous with the struts, but because they're pretty good now. It only takes a few to make things stable, but occasionally you just need extras. Okay, let's save that. Okay, I think Pepe was traumatized by that, so let's go with Lodron this time. Save and let's launch. Alright, half throttle is fine. Our staging is still good. Alright, ready, Lodron? 3, 2, 1, lift off. In a moment we'll be able to tell if those tanks are draining equally this time. And it looks like they are, so that's one problem fixed. Now we just hope it doesn't break. Looking good so far. Getting ready to stage these out. It's upper thrust. Okay, we're looking to hit 200 meters per second when we hit 10,000. Looks like we're on a good pace to do that. Okay, go ahead and start our gravity turn. It's just halted at 20% for now, or 20 degrees for now. Okay, let's do this stage. That looked good. The upper thrust. Let's roll it over a little bit more. Get that 45-degree angle. Looks like we should get pretty close to space this time, but before we have to use the, or before we stage. Probably about, my guess is like 60,000. Alright, here's where we had trouble last time. Let's give it a second to settle. Let go. Alright, everything looks good this time. And we're about to reach space. Let's go up to 80. Give ourselves some wiggle room. There we go. Did I put extra torque anywhere? I think I put one here. But nothing below that, so it's going to be a little bit unwieldy. Alright, we've hit space. Tell by the music. Okay, let's get burning. That'll give us a little more control too, so we'll roll over to the horizon. Now, it looks like we're going to do... Oh yeah, we're going to do... Great, well actually it's a lot of this fuel to use to boost us in our trip to Duna itself. So I actually designed something that works pretty well. Believe it or not, this is the first time I'm going to attempt to land and take off again from Duna. Most of the stuff I do in my own games has been orbital and station building, but I haven't really tried. I've landed on airless moons and planets, but I haven't tried an atmospheric entry and takeoff. So I'm right here with you guys as far as learning what this takes, and that means we hit orbit. 100,000 by 72,000. Okay, so that's good. So yeah, I'm right there with you guys as far as learning what it takes. And I think, I have enough experience where I think I've built a ship that can do it. Like I said, we know this can take off from Kerbal, so we know we can take off from Duna, even if we use some fuel to slow ourselves down for the landing. Alright, so next step, we need to get an encounter with Duna. And I'm going to go through all the details of this once more. So let's select Duna as a target. And we're already close to the proper... From experience, we know it's at 45 degrees, but we'll go through the calculations one more time. Set Duna as a target. And then we're going to go down here. And we're going from an inner planet to an outer planet. So you want to burn on the night side. Not 90 degrees, but you want to pull it back a little bit. So somewhere in here, add the maneuver. It's about 1100. Maybe not even that, but let's do 1100. And the first thing we want to do is make this escape parallel to Kerbal's orbit. So that means we have to pull maneuver back. Careful not to grab any of the actual handles. So we will pull this back a little bit. Check it again. It's pretty close. Let's go a little bit more. Okay, and that's our most efficient burn to get to Duna's orbit. And we can see, we can actually take it in a little bit. We're just outside. There we go. Just want to cross it. Okay, then here's our target, and that's us. So we are... if we put the target at 9 o'clock, we're at about, so 11's there, 10's there, so we're a little past 10. So think of it in clock terms, we're about an hour behind. So if we look at Kerbal in relationship to Duna, put this way, Duna's midnight's there, 1 o'clock, or 12 o'clock there, 1 o'clock is about there. So if we move it an hour, we're about 1:30, which is that 45 degree angle that the olex.biz site gives us. So that's how we tell, one of the ways we tell what alignment we need with the planet. So now we go to the Space Center. We get into the tracking station. Let's center this on the sun to make it a little easier. And now we speed up time until Kerbal, let's see, put Duna at 45. And just keep adjusting it, keep it in that relative position. Then when Duna reaches 3 o'clock, we are good. So right there. I think I kind of overdid it a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to teach you guys how to make the adjustments in orbit once we get there. So now we need to fly our Duna lander with lifter. We need to get rid of this old maneuver marker. Make a new one. Again, night side, about 45 and about 1100. Align it with Kerbal's orbit. And this is the for realsies one, so let's try to get this as close as possible. That's good enough. Alright, and that's pretty darn close, but see, we're overshooting Duna's orbit by a little bit, so let's pull this back. Don't need to go quite that fast. And there's an encounter. I'm not even going to look at what that says because I just want the encounter. And then we'll adjust it. Ascending node's a good place to adjust it, or as you're approaching somewhere around here. So, but I'm not even going to fiddle with that. It's too easy to fix it along this path and get much more accurate than trying to fiddle with it within Kerbal's sphere of influence. Alright, so let's get ready to do that burn. We got some big engines pushing us for the first part with a little bit of fuel. We have 3 engines here pushing the rest of this weight. From experience, if we just had this, it'd probably be about a 5-minute burn. So we'll start our burn about 2 minutes early. So let's first get on the marker so we don't have to adjust it at the last second. Alright, this is a slow turn. There we go. Turn SAS off so it doesn't fight us. And we'll find that blue marker somewhere along the 90, 270 circle around the nav ball. And I went the wrong way. Not by too much though. It's one of Murphy's laws of the nav ball is you'll start spinning the incorrect direction to get to the blue marker. Alright, so it's slowing myself down, moving up a bit. Gonna hit warp to stop the rotation and then adjust up a little bit. Alright, there we go. Now warp. Now let's get within 2 minutes of our burn. And the blue marker is drifting a little bit. I'm not sure why that is, since we should be locked onto it. 3, 2, there we go, that's close enough. Let's just rotate out to, let's get our SAS back on. Rotate a little bit closer. Alright, let's start to burn with the big engines. And this will use, I think we'll get about 400 of this Delta V out of these engines. Get it down to 700 meters per second. Yeah, about that. Alright, now we can stage to get rid of those. Just to stage once more. Oh, let's throttle down first. Let's stage again to activate the nuclear engines. And just move away slowly from those tanks before we light it up. And to keep them from overheating, see, that's full thrust. No, they're not overheating yet. There they go. We just want probably just one tick below 100. Now we'll go up. Because they're close together in this cluster, they'll tend to overheat a little more than usual. As long as that isn't at 100%, it should stop at some point. It's still going up a little. Okay, I think it's stabilized right there, so that's fine. Do just a little bit of adjustment here. And the thing's a bit wobbly. Did I do lights? What did I do for lights? Yes, I did do lights, but only on the main ship. I didn't do landing lights, did I? Well, we're going to be landing on the day side anyway, so not as important. And I do action group for the solar panels. Yes, I did. As you can see, these nuclear engines just sip the fuel. They're barely taking any of this tank. It'll take a long time. Alright, I'm going to do a speed up until we're closer to the end. So I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, I'm back, and let's cut engines. Let's see what we have. Get rid of that. Still need more to burn. Notice I did not try to follow the blue marker. I didn't really care about that. Let's get the engines firing again. Get our sun apwaps up to match Duna's orbit. Then we'll start to see where the intersect comes in. Our ascending node is nice at 0 degrees. Alright, there we go, and now cut and just burn slightly. Because as soon as I get this, I want to cut the engines. Now we're going down or up? Still going down. 600,000 kilometers. There we go. There's our periapts 22 million. Okay, let's try to bring that down a little bit. Do what we can from here. Okay, it's going back up again, so that's as good as we can get from this part. Okay, so now let's zoom out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. Let's get a pretty shot while we're doing it. And when we see a blink, that should mean we're out of the sphere of influence. Yep, there it is. Nice to have little markers like that, even when you're not paying attention to the heads-up display. Alright, let's take one more look. Yeah, still 11 million meters. Alright, so let's go to the ascending node and see what we can do to fix that. Full speed ahead. And we still have most of our fuel left. So we should have enough to get back. I should have put a docking port. I just not think of that. It might still work out. I think I might have enough delta V in the top, in the last stage from the takeoff. Well, I can't transfer the fuel though. That's the problem. Alright, let's get here. Okay, so what we want to do is use tab to focus on Duna. And that will show us our path through the system. Okay, we're too far north. We need to... Yeah, we're on the ascending node, so yeah, we need to burn south. And that is up this way. Towards the 180, burning or moving very slowly. Try to slow that down. There we go. Alright, so now we burn south. See that coming down. Alright, we'll minimize this number. And we can tell when this starts lining up with all the other orbits. That's when we're on the equator. There we go. Okay, so we are coming in on the wrong side of Duna. Duna rotates this way, so we want to come in here. This is the escape. So we want to come in here on this side. And rotate this way. So what we want to do now is trying to think of whether we want to burn retrograde or prograde. I think retrograde. Because slowing us down always gets us on the correct side of a encounter when we're heading to other planets. If we're on the wrong side, it means we burned too much. And all the wobbling is really driving this crazy. I'm going to go ahead and time warp to stop us there. Alright, so now when I start burning, this should start going down. Yep, very easily. And then flip it to the other side. Oh, we have an icon counter. But not a close one. So we'll go ahead and continue flying into... Yeah, let me undo that with some RCS. Alright, somewhere in there. Yeah, Ike's not affecting us too much. Then we can break our orbit there and get in orbit and do the stuff we need to do. Alright, so we are now just zooming to the planet. Gonna do a short speed up and I'll see you there. Alright, I'm back and I'm kind of slowing down my warp so I don't mess up the numbers. 1,000's usually okay, but 100,000 sometimes will change your results when you cross the boundaries. Alright, so yep, we have our Ike encounter, and then there's our Duna periaps. So 400,000, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Let's just go ahead and go right into the system. We'll just miss Ike here on the back side. And slow down before we zoom right through this. Let's start burning right now because these nuclear engines are really weak. And it'll take several minutes. So our orbit is 1100 meters per second. We are accelerating as we get towards the periaps. We need to cut this down to about 700 or 800 meters per second when we get there. Alright, so use the engines to get a little control. Work our way back to the retrograde marker. Fighting our momentum as I swing the ship around. Alright, there we go. Now let's light this up, bring it down a notch. And I'm going to do another speed up until this reaches orbit, so see you in a moment. Alright, I'm back and just about to achieve orbit. I'm gonna stop this burn when this gets to 100,000. and then circularize from there. Okay, 104, so let's go down to that. Move back to the retrograde. Yeah, we've used very little fuel. So I really should have outfitted this ship with a way of bringing the Kerbal and all the science home. A lesson for later. Alright, let's bring this down, but I don't want to bring it down all the way yet. I just realized I should have gotten the high over Duna science while I was coming in, but I can do it, somewhere in this region. But I want to get below where Ike will start messing with my orbit. So let's go ahead and bring this down. Yep, still need a little bit more. That should do the trick for now, so we'll go ahead and we'll get our low science now. That's another thing I didn't think of, was like goo containers and science modules for orbital science. Actually, what we want to do first is we just want to do a simple crew report. And we want to send this right now. And that has achieved one of the contract conditions. Data from space around Kerbal, 18,000 fun, 6 more science. We've also achieved oh, that was the separate contract. Yeah, there's a separate contract for getting science from around Duna. This one was part of the whole landing contract, explore Duna, and then we've achieved orbit. Which we did with, technically did already with that probe that's in orbit, so that counts. Okay, so now landing and transmitting science from below, but let's get this, all the other near Kerbal science we can grab. Get the right side of the ship here. Can't do seismic from space. We can do temperature. See, now it's letting me do it. 56. And the barometer, no, that doesn't do anything here in space, but let's try it anyway, just to show you. It can't be done right now. Does that make sense? We need to save these for the surface. We can get one goo pod from up here. So let's go ahead and do that now. $70 science. Okay, let's EVA. We already sent the crew report, so there's, when I right click, there's nothing for him to grab. So EVA 56. Let's walk down the ladder and grab this goo pod. Whoops, too fast. Get out of there. Grab and walk up a little bit. Okay, let's grab that data and grab the thermometer data. And now we can walk up. Oh, the RCS pod is interrupting the ladders. Come on. So now we'll go around to the far side and collect as much high over Duna science as possible. Okay, grab, climb up, board. Alright, so we got that. Now I'll zoom around to the far side of this. And collect that same set of data. Again, crew report. Okay, we did that when we did the Ike mission, so that's not necessary. But we can do, did we do EVA? Okay, we've accomplished that. Temperature, no, we can't do temperature, can't do any of these other things, so that's all we can do here. So, oopsies. Drifting, so board. Alright, so we didn't really need to do this. Should have taken a look at my notes from the last mission. Alright, whoops. Let's go down, let's circularize, and then do the landing. There we go. We're at 97 there, so we'll drop this just below 100 and call that good. Alright, didn't really get the orbit I wanted, but makes a little difference, so that'll work. Alright, so now for landing, let's check a couple things. Make sure that this stage hasn't been taking fuel from this stage. Shouldn't. They always pays to be sure. Okay, so we got full fuel tanks there. Monoprop is pretty much full. There's a lot of fuel here, but this stage is really good for nothing else except that, so we might as well use this to slow us down for the landing and not use up any of this fuel. So since we don't have any docking port or anything to get on this guy, we'll use them to conserve fuel in the lander. Alright, so let's get to about there. And we slow down and obtain, yeah, kind of like this dark area, maybe not quite as far in this way. Let's go a little bit more. Yeah, let's try. It's kind of slopey, but I think we have a wide enough base to handle that. fact, let's kind of get in the middle. Alright, so we'll try that. Alright, give us some time to rotate. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and burn this a little early, but we'll just keep it a low burn and watch the result from here. Alright, I'm more paying attention to this than this. I'm going to stop it just short of where I originally planned, so go there. And I'll take and destroy this with this. Alright, so let's warp down to the atmosphere. Alright, we're in the atmosphere now. Let's go ahead and... oh, wrong way. Let's get this on retrograde. 270 marker this way. Atmosphere is very thin, so we won't get a lot of slow down. So we'll want to release the parachutes early because they'll help with drag as well. Alright, hold that. Could actually burn. No, I don't want to drop. I will use that to burn a little later. Gonna go a little bit above retrograde because that will kind of slow down my descent as well. And we'll start burning at 10,000. Just to get rid of some of this extra speed that the atmosphere may not take care of for us. Lodrin looks happy to be first Kerbal on another planet. Before I forget, let's go ahead and do one thing I noticed is the gears start on, but they're not deployed. So what happens the first time you hit G, you're actually turning the gear off and raising them. Then when you hit G again, now they deploy. So let's do that before bad memory causes issues. Okay, getting closer here. Let's go a little bit above the retrograde. Again, I want to start... I'm going to start burning now. Let's see how much of the speed we can bleed off. That's what I need to do is these. This stage has to be before the engines. Point myself upwards a little more. Oh, my solar panels. Oh, did I lose them all? That could be bad. Alright, let's get rid of this stage. Oh, that was bad before shutting down the engines. I can fix that by, let's get rid of two parachutes. Things may go all kinds of bad here momentarily. There we go. Whew. That was close. Okay, let's throttles down. Let's stage the engines so we have them ready to slow us down. 10 meters per second. That's a nice velocity. We can work with that. I did lose all my solar panels, and that's not good. I have a good amount of electric charge, so I think I can get back into space, and we're going to be stranded there anyway. And the engines will recharge as well. So it's not too desperate. Alright, there's our shadow. Keep this at about 5.